Hey guys, my name is Hab, and don't adjust your stereo, I am here. It's been like 2 months or so, but I still live. This is the T26E5, and for the sake of brevity, I'm just gonna shorten this to the Patriot. Excuse my phone for a moment. Yeet. There we go. And I'm gonna say Patriot for 7k gold is probably one of the better buys, better purchases that I have made in the not so distant past. I have to say that the Patriot is a very effective, albeit sometimes boring tank. It kind of bears that curse of American tanks, but they're just pretty good overall, but is there something that makes them stand out, something that makes them unique? Not really. Maybe the T34 if it's like really good gun depression and very good hold down protection and that gun. But the Patriot's got basically the same thing and an improved mobility. And if you had to choose between a Super Pershing and a Patriot, I would just tell you to pick the Patriot because this really is, just in my opinion, a way better Super Pershing. And I'm just gonna get into that right now with the gun, because I do have to admit that the gun does have some pretty good stats on paper, 221, 265, 45, and that is a 90 mil. Granted, it does have some weird alpha at 240, but there are a few other tanks at this tier that have that same thing. I think it's the Progetto 46 and the M4190 that have the same concept. But 10 degrees of gun depression, great gun elevation, and pretty good stats on paper, with a very good damage output as well. But I have to say this one thing, this gun is not as accurate as you may think. It is interesting. The aim time and dispersion seem very solid and sound overall, but you really, really should let this thing aim in at least a bit, because it misses so damn much. That is at least from the, how many battles I have in it, the 10 that I have so far in it. I can absolutely tell you this isn't as accurate as it seems. But it is a very good gun for a heavy regardless. I think that I would really only take just German heavy guns after this, really, because those are the only ones that I prefer to the gun on the Patriot. The hold down protection, very solid as well. 191 may not sound a lot, but when you look at the shape of the turret, like Jesus Christ. Is there anywhere even 191? Maybe around the cheeks, maybe that cupola as well. The cupola is... it's not that weak. I haven't gotten myself penned in the cupola once. I have seen a few bounces and just absorbed hits in that, but so far most people preferred just to aim on my side and my lower plate, which is kind of sizable, and some people do still have the pen to go through that upper plate, which isn't angled well. That's because this is literally just a up-armored Pershing. Like, the normal Pershing doesn't have exactly that great of an angle either, if I'm just gonna show it right up. Like, that is the exact same angle, except it has more base value armor. It is almost the same tank, except it has a way better gun and way better armor. Same goes for the Super Pershing. This thing is still just better. And the mobility, you would expect that this would be kind of bad, but no, it goes 40. It goes 40, it gets there decently quickly, and it still has a pretty good reverse gear. I think the only kind of mediocre thing about the tank is the traverse rate, and the fact that the turret turn rate isn't that great either, although still, it's almost 31 degrees. That is still really, really good for a heavy like this, even though I wouldn't exactly call it a heavy, because it really is just a Pershing. But then again, there were plans to just call the Pershing a heavy tank because it was heavy by American standards. If I compare this to, let's say, the Object 252U, the 252U has a turret turn rate of 29 degrees. What about the Defender? That has a 24.3. And the VK168 has a 21. This is still a pretty good traverse score overall. Everything is sound about this tank. Everything. I just think that the only real issues that it has is that it can't side-scrape reliably, because that whole side armor is not great, and it's just really covered by tracks. Regardless, if you try to angle pretty good, you may still get penned, no matter how hard you try. And the typical American rear, which is just absolutely dreadful. But that is really the only disadvantages that I can say about the Patriot. It doesn't have a lot of them. I guess that's what makes it so good, but albeit so boring. If I compare it to a tank like, I don't know, the Skoda. The Skoda has a pretty good autoloader, pretty good mobility, and the pen is pretty decent. However, it has enough disadvantages to make me consider how it plays, to consider how it feels, and from that I adapt, and I have a very specific play style for it, and that's why I like it, because it's unique. It makes me think a little out of the box. The Patriot, I don't know, go hold down. That is one thing it does really well, and that is one thing that I would highly recommend, is that you go hold down and just try to wiggle that turret a tiny bit every now and then, because the side of the turret is not that strong. It is still 102 millimeters, but it is not that great, as you can see from the shape here, so don't overdo it with the turret wiggling. But anyways, that is just all about the tank itself, and before that, let's just check what I'm running. It's the gun rammer, defense system, optics, gun laying drive, enhanced armor, because I don't know, why not? You could consider running improved assembly. It would make a pretty big difference in HP, but I don't know, I'm weird. Then there's the engine accelerator, vertical stabilizer. I haven't tried to refine the gun yet, but I would recommend the stabilizer. You're gonna fire a lot on the move with this thing. Then the toolbox and the high-end consumables, because the reload time is actually pretty decent, so I can maximize adrenaline out of that. And with that out of the way, let's just check in some high-quality replays, shall we? Replays, just normal games. This isn't a review, these are just impressions. But my impressions so far of the Patriot are 9 out of 10 in effectiveness. If I had to describe how fun it is, I can absolutely guarantee you that after 200 battles, it will get boring. It will get jarring, grating. It is not gonna be exactly fun, but it is still gonna be effective. I would say that this has the same fun factor as a Leva would have. Even though I like the Leva, I can't say that I play it a lot nowadays. I don't think I even have over 30 battles in the last 90 days in it. But this could be played for a while. So anyways, I'm just gonna go and help the Mets. Since we're in a tier 9 battle, I do not want to overextend that much, which is what I'm doing right now anyway. Hey, how you doing? The alpha is a little inconsistent at times. It does feel a little odd, and that's an unfortunate bounce there, but what can you do? You do get that sometimes. It's not a big deal. The Chimera is just down for the count already, and that is a KV-3 in a tier 9 battle. Not just fail platoons in general are bizarre. But let's see if I can get a shot. There we go. This is not that kind of an accurate gun, but it does still hit pretty often. You can see that all the way from here. This is a very nice tank, in my opinion. Granted, I should definitely push out a bit further before everybody absolutely dies. So let's try and get a shot in there. Nice. An engine crit, that makes him burn his repair kit, and if I damage his engine again, he is gonna be in trouble. And that is an unfortunate miss, but that's also because I'm going full speed ahead, and you can't exactly expect a shot to hit like that. And that is the KV-3 down, and there's just 3 tanks left. I think we might go for one more battle, because this one was so short. Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. So, anyways, the 704 might be the only problematic tank that I have to fight now, because the KPF has a pretty long reload, and the 704 can still pen me pretty decently. And as you can see, the Super Pershing is just poor man's version really now. And that is a nice bounce, 300, yeah, let's get to it. If you let this gun sing a little, you will deal a lot of damage. I really do rave on this gun, despite it being an American tank. I do absolutely like it. And that's the battle done, actually. That was kind of fast, so... yeah, we are gonna do one more, and we'll see how that one ends up. You know, almost 3k damage. That is very respectable for a tier 8 tank. And one thing I should also mention is that it makes pretty decent credits. It doesn't make fantastic credits. It isn't the Leva. It isn't something like a Type 59. But it still makes very respectable credits. That's one thing the Super Pershing has over this thing. It makes more credits than the Patriot. But if you want a tank that you can win a lot in, this thing's a no-brainer. I wouldn't exactly lay the Super Pershing over the Patriot in this case. But anyways, so they stand at tier 8 battle. We're also fighting tier 7s. And, okay, I don't know who would play a Vulcan voluntarily, but someone apparently is. I'll just play it like that. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can help the mediums and lights, because I don't think they're gonna find a lot of opposition there, especially that lone T32. And that is a very eager Pantera. Quite eager. The biggest problem is that I got spotted right now. I have no idea where the rest of the enemies are. Quite frankly, I don't want to find out the hard way. But there is a Progetto here. I cannot sneak a hit in? I can. Oh, very eager fella. Very eager, very foolish. Do not do that, especially in a Progetto, Christ. Advice from Hab, don't just peek out. If you see one tank, chances are there's gonna be more of them. But the Pantera is very, very, very low on hit points now. And I'm gonna have to do the same mistake as the Progetto did, but I'm gonna do it a little bit more, whoa, carefully. There we go. That is one thing that I needed to be aware of. However, there's still the tank destroyers, that I have absolutely no idea where they are. Which is concerning. However, there we go, that is the SU in, and that seems to be the AT as well. I do not have a lot of hit points left, but I have done my job. Anyways, let's see if we can get a bit more damage on the weak A168 here. And I sure hope so. There we go. The alpha is a little inconsistent sometimes, but it is a 90 mil, so what's the problem? My man, don't give up. You had almost one shot left. Could have tried it. There we go. Now all that's left are the tank destroyers and the T29. Fella isn't too happy. He ain't too happy about it one bit. There we go, another max roll, nice. Oh dear, yeah. Yeah, that is one thing I did not want to trip upon, because this guy absolutely has the ability to kill me. Absolutely does. Just, whoa. Oh, good lord. I still live. Thrilling. Oh, nice job, T49. There we go. That is gonna be it for the Patriot, I suppose. This is an incredibly effective tank when in the right position, but fun-wise, it is gonna wane off relatively quickly, more so than other fresh arrivals in the store. I am gonna come back to the Skoda later, don't worry. Anyways, that has been it from me. My name is Hab. If you somehow liked this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.